And good evening. Welcome to the North Florida Blitz, our fourth edition of this 45-minute show. We look back at week 2 of high school football in North Florida, from the Panhandle all the way down to Gainesville, Ocala, up to Jacksonville and St. Augustine. We will take you through a look at high school football and a preview this week as well. As I'm Marty Pallman, he's Joshua Wilson, Florida HS Football.
Yes, I am.
Yes, you are, exactly. We will be joined tonight on our interview of Andre Ellis, our friend from Duval Sports in Jacksonville. We'll talk to him here in about 15 minutes or so, and we'll have our pick six later, give our results from last week, and look forward to this week's games as well. But first, we will start, as we do every show, with a look back at last week. The Blitz lines, recapping week 2 in high school football, and we will start all the way over in the Panhandle.
Well, absolutely. But before we really get started, Marty, make sure you're following us on the social media platforms at Florida HS Football, except on X or Twitter, as we should call it. Still, I think it should be called Twitter. Can someone just switch the name back to Twitter, and I'll be good?
Yeah, exactly. It's Twitter.
At FLAHS Football, as you can see down the screen as well. And then you're going to hit that QR code, download the FloridaHSFootball.com app. And then also on YouTube, hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell. We're getting closer to 1,000 subscribers. We got to hit 1,000, because that's where YouTube starts to open up some doors for us, hitting that 1,000 subscriber mark. So
that's right. So we will hope you all do that and tune into us that way as well. All right, so now we'll take a look at the Blitz lines. We start in Pensacola. We start all the way over on the end of Florida towards Alabama.
Pensacola Catholic.
Yeah, again with a victory. They take on pace. They win. Pensacola Catholic 2-0 to start the season.
No, absolutely. And, I honestly, when I'm looking at this, Pensacola Catholic, a lot of people feel like this will be a team, hey, they were a mere minutes away from playing for the state championship game last year in 2S, not Bradford.
That's right. They were. They had Bradford in overtime and Stark, and nearly won that game. What interested to see how they would have done against Cocoa. Bradford only lost by 20-6 score, but yeah, so good start for them as well. They shut out Navarre week 1. We'll talk about Navarre in a moment, because they're a tough start for Irish Bill.
Our friend Irish Bill.
We had him on preseason first show, and 2 weeks and
0 points.
0 points. They've lost to Pensacola Catholic and now to Choctaw.
But by the way, but Frank Beasley, your team, that deserves a round of applause on the other side. So.
Yeah, he's done a really good job out there. Take them to the regional final last year again.
Last 2 years.
Last 2 years, yeah. Lost. I think they ran into St. Augustine both times, but
no, yes, they did. Last year they did. Okay, so this is actually Coach Beasley's 4th year out there.
His 4th year. Yeah.
So for year one, it's year, because year 1 ran into St. Augustine in the first round.
Okay.
I think it was St. Augustine. Actually, no, was it St. Augustine?
They beat St. Augustine 1 year in the
hold on, I'm going to pull that up real quick here, because
excuse me,
because that way I'm actually hitting this information correctly, and I'm not speaking out of turn here,
right?
Marty. I mean, I don't want to speak out of turn here, but yes,
good to be back after a week away. Not feeling well last week. Josh did a great job filling in, and
it's kind of hard to do it by yourself sometimes.
Yeah, I know, because you're doing a lot over there, and it was I was at home in bed watching. But feeling a lot better, back to normal pretty much. And last week was just we had some sleep last week.
I want to say,
but there we go.
Okay, yes.
Yeah, 2021.
2021, because in 2022 they ran into Columbia in the regional final, 10-3, and then I think it was that last year it was St. Augustine for that regional final. So they ran into St. Augustine, actually, and then so I'm trying to look at this. No,
they didn't make the playoffs that first year.
Correct. Yeah, it looks like the first year, yes. So, but the second year, 2023, 2022, that's where they did run into St. Augustine. So, yes, they beat St. Augustine in that first round
2 years ago, 2022. Yeah.
Yes, and then they ran into St. Augustine, but they waited to the regional finals the past 2 years.
Right.
So,
that's right.
Also, hey, if you got a comment, got a question, wherever you're watching us, on Facebook, Twitter, X, and YouTube, you can leave us a comment and hit. Then we might just pop it up on the screen here.
Pop up video. That's right. So now we're gonna take a look at
the Tate Aggies
team, another 2-0 team, Tate Cantonment
over in Cantonment, right just north of Pensacola.
Just north of
Pensacola. Right there in Escambia County. But Tate, hey, we see y'all. Yeah, y'all are starting to make some waves here, and we'll definitely appreciate that. Seeing what the Aggies are doing, and I know Irish Bill mentioned it as a team that definitely to watch.
Yeah, off to a good start. They are, and another team that gets a win last week as.
Yeah, and then we're going to mention this here, but we will talk about that. I believe I actually did have it on the. Actually, and I mentioned, you know what? I screwed that up because I will mention it. It was supposed to be on our blitz lines here, and somehow I did not put it on theirs, but we will talk about it in a moment here because we will go from the thing. But we'll talk about Pensacola High first, their first win since 2022.
Yeah, boy, that's hard to believe.
Congratulations to Pensacola.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to believe they didn't win at all last year. That's a program that's had a lot of history to it. But yeah, they've been struggling. They get a win this year. They go to a 1-1. So good for them, Pensacola. The Tigers pick up their first win,
But yes, this was on our blitz lines here. This one, Niceville passes the test with Escambia and handles them well in a 42-21 victory. And I will bring this up from Joe Settle. Yes, Niceville looking strong. Yes,
yeah, they do. 2-0. They beat really good South Sumter team week 1.
Beat a good, pretty good, well coached Escambia team in with Mike Bennett's crew. So
right, Grant
Thompson's got things rolling out there, cooking over there again over there, and the good old Niceville out there on Highway 20.
That's right. So. Niceville, a good start for them as well, and now 2-0. Meanwhile, another team that actually this is one of the
teams Florida High.
Kind of struggling in Florida High. The Seminoles 0-2. They have Hawthorne this week, so it's not going to get much easier for them.
No, but Hawthorne, I'll tell you this: it's not going to get any easier for Hawthorne on the other side too. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about them here.
But they're 2-0. Florida High is 0-2. So yeah, you're right. It's a But yeah, Seminoles starting 0-2, so they've got to right the ship as well pretty quickly, or it's going to be a tough year for them. And our only of the week goes to the Wakulla War Eagles. Go down to Taylor County. Out. Taylor County 2-0 to start.
Yes. How about the Bulldogs of Taylor County? 2-0, and I gotta say this. When was the last time Taylor County started off the season 2-0? I have to go back and look, but we're not going to do any more live research here for the moment here. But so we'll roll from there.
Yeah, another, and that's a surprise. That's a big win for Taylor County to beat Wakulla. And then another is we head further south. Is what is going on with Trinity Catholic and Catholic coach John Brantley. That team, they have lost 2 games and not even close. They were blown out at Tampa Catholic week 1. Last week, Melbourne Central Catholic comes to Ocala and beats them 38-6. I mean,
2 home games, two losses.
I thought one was on the road.
No, they weren't.
They were home. First one was week 1. Okay, so yeah, tough start to the season. Good teams are playing, but man, they need to at least get a little bit closer. It seems like they're struggling.
I feel like right now the only guaranteed win they have is going to probably be against PK Young for the district, and that's a 2-team district.
I mean, they're going to win the district probably. Yeah, you're right. But even though their record may end up 2-8 or 3-7 again, who knows? Some more comments there from
just we'll bring them up here in a couple minutes here as we roll along here, Marty. But we'll take a look at those comments here.
Yeah, Trinity Catholic, and then Bradford still keeps winning 2-0. Week 1 they beat Baker County 13-7. They survive a tough game with Denellen, win them 29-14, and now South Sumter comes to Stark this week. That's going to be a huge matchup. South Sumter lost to Niceville week 1. They came back with a win over Ocala Forest last week. So big ball game there. Bradford went to Bushnell last year and beat South Sumter. So these two teams will play again in Stark.
I considered putting the game on the picks, but I was like, I don't know if everybody's going to get fed up of us putting Bradford on this picks every week.
A good game every week. I mean, it's kind of hard not to when you're playing that schedule. But yeah, you're right. It's they could be on there every week. Meanwhile, Bowles rights the ship. This is a game that it's in our picks. Not so good for Josh as it was for me, but Bowles lost week 1 to Rains, and they come back and they pound Trinity 41-7 at Trinity Christian, who had beaten Ed White week 1.
I was kicking myself for that.
Yeah, so Bowles now 1-1 on the season. They have a trip to St. Augustine this week. Bowles' schedule is just every week it's somebody. Rains.
It almost sounds like Murderer's Row.
I know. This week they go to St. Augustine. So, and the Yellow Jackets, of course, are 2-0. Meanwhile, Manor looks like a state contender, but is trouble ahead? The answer is yes.
Yes. Unfortunately, some news that broke out from quarterback Tremel Jones Jr. is potentially he could be out anywhere from a few weeks to potentially the entire season.
We heard it might be the entire season. That from That from our friend Corey Davis, the Black and Daily News' unnamed source. But he let us know that today. Yeah, that was I heard Friday night coming back from Jacksonville that he had gone down, and it was they were concerned on
broken leg, from my understanding.
Show. Yeah, and they blew out Atlantic Coast 47-0, 2-0. They rolled the first 2 weeks over Creekside and Atlantic Coast. So we'll see if that affects Mandarin. They still have their top receiver, Jamie French, who, by the way, committed to Texas last week. He's maybe the top receiver in the country.
How about you know what? We're going to side divert here just slightly off of this because here's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Why in the heck is Texas coming into Florida and getting our guys that could be staying home at one of the Power 4 schools that we have in the state? What's happening here?
Hey, Steve Sarkisian's picking them up there in Texas, I guess.
I mean, this is supposed to be we are a football state. We are a plethora of talent in this state, and our guys are going out of state to play college football. No knock to the guys for choosing, but it's like the in-state schools. What's going on? Why are you not keeping our guys home? Especially the 5-star blue chippers. And Jamie French is one of those.
Meanwhile, the Florida recruits at the Florida Miami game were sitting there in the front, there in the end zone, and they started cheering for Miami in the third quarter. So Miami players are right there by them. So, yeah, I mean, interesting. This is the way it is, though. These schools come in and raid the states. I mean, there's a lot of talent here. Florida can go into Texas too and do that, but yeah, that is interesting that Texas goes into Jacksonville and gets rid of the top players. Bradford did not beat South Sumter. I'm apologize. I thought they went undefeated last year, but they lost.
And Mark Cannon says Texas equals Lamborghini. Well,
that's true. That's SMU in the old days. That's right, for Eric Dickerson. But yeah, that's a good point.
Which ended up resulting in a
death penalty. Yes, for them.
But you're not likely ever going to see that again. Not in the age of NIL.
No, because Florida could have probably gotten in the 80s too. Honestly, they probably could have gotten a death penalty. They had 100-some violations. But yeah, that's another story for here or there. Or neither here nor there. But that's another story completely.
A teammate we talked much more about in the South Florida Blitz, but we talked about Buchholz here beating starting strong 2-0.
Yeah, they did. They just start 2-0, and road wins too. They went to Vanguard week 1. They go all the way to Vero Beach last week and win, and now they come home. Well, kind of home. It's a city rivalry game with Eastside this week, so the Eastside Rams are 1-1 after losing a close one at Tallahassee Rickards last week. Pardon me. So, yeah, it's Buchholz looking good. They come back. They were down in that game, and Trace Johnson making some big plays in the second half to give them another win. So, Buchholz continues to win. Meanwhile, Ponte Vedra, they rally from their loss to Nice week 1. They come back and knock off Bartram Trail.
Yes, and
Oakleaf, who did they beat? They didn't beat anybody.
Orange Park.
Yeah.
Why are you
cheering for? That's not...
Because I cheer for the teams that win.
Yes. And
hey, Ponte Vedra football chimes in. What's up, fellas?
Yeah,
well, hey, we're talking about your big win.
Big one over Bartram Trail. Big St. Johns County rivalry there. So, and at Bartram getting the win after the loss week 1. So, yeah, big one for the Sharks. Big one for as Bartram now goes to 1-1. And isn't I think Bartram's...
By the way, Ponte Vedra and Orange Park are in the same district, along with Fleming Island, Middleburg, and Beachside.
Yeah. Well, guess who's not going to make the playoffs out of that district? Middleburg.
He's got to razz me somehow, some way.
Middleburg. Probably Orange Park, too, but who knows?
Yeah, hey, y'all are welcome. Hey, love y'all being able to watch the show. We appreciate it.
Yeah. And again, good victory for you guys to beat that really good Bartram team. And they're always nice to beat that's a big rivalry game. Always nice to win that one as well. All right, so as you said, Oakleaf beating Orange Park.
But here's the one that I think some people are watching or been waiting for this one to come up.
Yes, Hawthorne. Yes, 27
for me,
win streak. Yeah, but I mean, look, Newberry.
And for you,
well, again, Newberry takes them to the wire. Hawthorne leads this game 21-10 with about 6 minutes to go. Newberry quickly scores 11 points to tie the game. They go to overtime. Hawthorne scores. Newberry scores, goes for 2. Ed Johnson goes for 2. And Colin Dunmore is stopped inches short of the goal line. And Hawthorne survives to keep the 27-game win streak going, 28-27 over Newberry in overtime. So really good ball game last Friday night in Hawthorne. Unfortunately, now that Newberry's in 2A, they won't play again in the postseason, which would have been a great game to see in the playoff.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
But Newberry
100%.
moving up to 2A means they won't get another shot at Hawthorne, who's in the rural classification.
Well, yeah, and honestly, here, I mean, I will not apologize for my pick. It shows, I shouldn't have to. And I will say this, in my opinion, what Newberry did Friday night shows that Hawthorne is beatable.
Oh, I agree. Well, no, I don't know if it shows that Hawthorne is beatable so much as I think it shows Newberry's really good. But I think we knew that. And by the way, Newberry goes to Booster Stadium this week and plays Vanguard. So
that'll be a really good game.
Yeah, that'll be an interesting one to watch as well. Because again, Ed Johnson's got that schedule they've opened now with University Christian, Hawthorne, and Vanguard.
And then they got Florida High this week, Oakleaf next week, South Sumter the week after, and South Sumter. Honestly,
Christian, that's a little bit of a. But then
Zephyr Christian actually, and then IMG Academy White, and then Orlando Christian Prep. So
that's not the IMG Academy national team, I'm guessing.
No, this is the varsity team. That's actually the second team.
Yeah, and then Orlando Christian Prep's pretty good. So yeah. Is that the whole schedule? Wait,
they only had
2. They have 9.
They only had 8 games.
That's Hawthorne you're talking about.
Yep,
Sorry.
Hawthorne.
They only have 8 games.
Yeah,
wow.
But Newberry's got that district with Bradford, Keystone, Palaca, and Santa Fe. So
yeah, Newberry Bradford is going to be a big game later on.
That'll be a really good game to watch. And I believe that game's going to be at Newberry, by the way.
And by the way, one of the teams we didn't talk about, Gainesville High, 2-0 after being 1-9 last year, 0-10 the year before. They beat Santa Fe. They're 2-0 for the first time in 12 years since 2012. So
that's crazy to think about that.
They played for a state title that year. Not that I'm saying they're going to do that this year, but that was a historic Gainesville team. But yeah, so that team is 2-0. Meanwhile,
Ellis Hall says Chief went standing tall early on, and they're 2-0. How about that?
Yeah, they take
week 1 win against Williston, and now you take care of Hollis Christian.
Right, and Williston was off last week. They're 0-1 still, so they'll looking to get their first win of the season. But yeah, that's pretty much it on the Blitz lines. We are hopefully efforting Andre Ellis of Duval Sports.
I have not heard from Andre, and I don't have Andre's phone number. I only have the direct message with him on Twitter, and I have not heard from him.
Well, we will. We got a lot to talk about anyway.
I booked this last week, by the way, on this.
All right, good to know. Well, we may have to book him next week, but at this point, but we still got a long way to go here. So we'll take our first 2-minute break. Come back. We'll look at some other teams around. Be sure to send some comments. Let's put those on the air as well. And also coming up, the Pick 6. We'll have the results from last week and the games for this week here on the North Florida Blitz. All right, welcome back to the North Florida Blitz. As
we don't have our
yeah, we don't have our guests, and that's okay. It happens. Well, I guess he's not responding, and
No.
we don't have his phone number. Do we know? Does Corey have his phone number? I wonder. Probably.
But yeah,
but we can. We'll see if he can. We'll give him a few minutes to see
Yeah.
if he comes in on there. But we were talking about a lot of different issues, and
yeah. And I'm going to bring this up comment
Yeah.
here. Well, you might as well we'll take a time and answer a few comments here. We can do that here. You know, sometimes you just got to improvise.
right, that's true.
But Joe Settle, he said this about Mariana. Mariana's a much improved team under head coach Jack Glover. And sure enough, they're 2-0 on the season. And by the way, that's on our picks this week. McClay, 2-0.
Oh, yeah,
Mariana,
McClay.
2-0.
That's a good game.
By the way, I think that might make one of our watchers actually be interested in that. And that would be the one and only J. Philip Crutchfield.
J. Phillip,
You
yeah.
said that, but Philip Crutchfield.
He's a native of Mariana area, around there. So yeah, he would be interested in that as well. But yeah, that's a good start for them, as Joe said. Joe follows a lot of the football in the Panhandle, follows Niceville, as we said. Also, here's another Panhandle comment. Shout out to Mosley, or 50 points against inferior competition. Okay, well, offense looks really good. Big stretch of games against Rickards, Navarre, and Escambia. Watching from Panama City. Keep up the good work. Thanks for watching. It's only 7:52 there, so
Yes,
we
indeed.
appreciate that. But we have that game on our picks too this week, I believe.
Yes, we do.
Mosley
Rickards and
Rickards.
Mosley. And that'll be there at the Tommy Oliver Stadium there in Panama City.
Yeah, Mosley 2-0, Rickards 2-0. They just edged Eastside last week.
Yes, they did.
To 2-0. Meanwhile, David says, "Don't sleep on Oakleaf, gents." Well, I'm not, because they just beat my alma mater 42-0. So I'm not.
Well,
sleeping on
you were
Oakleaf.
kind of like, why the applause? But I'm like, I wasn't giving applause to Oakley.
I know. That's why. So no, we're not sleeping on Oakleaf. I think they're a pretty good team. We're hearing that already as well. And by the way, another interesting game last week. Fleming Island had beat Clay week
Ooh,
1.
that was a dandy.
Riverside, who was blown out week 1, came back and beat Fleming Island to go to 1-1. Yeah, it was a really high scoring game. So had some interesting games over there. Fleming Island's 1-1. That's in Clay County. Oakleaf 2-0. Middleburg's 2-0.
Yeah, my alma mater's 2-0. Yes,
they've so far played, as that guy just said, inferior competition. But I mean, he would say North Florida Educational Institute, and also
Purdy Purd. Times in best team in North Florida. We all know Reigns. Well, Reigns. Hey,
can't argue. I mean, they beat Bowles already, so
I'm thinking, is it time to maybe crack them into the top 25 yet in the state? I don't know.
think you probably should. I mean, well, the only team that might be better is Mandarin, but
Mandarin's already top 25. So if I
Yeah.
put them in, is it time? But
I
we'll
mean,
see.
and the funny thing is, those are still the only two Duval County public schools ever win a state football title. Reigns has 2 of them.
And Mandarin has 1.
Mandarin has 1. With a current quarterback is currently at the University of Georgia playing quarterback. Carson Beck led Mandarin to the title. So, yeah, those are still the only 2 Duval County public schools that have won a state football title. First Coast played for one.
Yes.
One time. Sandalwood's played for them. They've been close, never won. So,
I mean, yeah. I mean, sometimes it's not always about what about the larger the city, the better chance you win a football state championship. Sometimes it's more about
yeah.
being out in the rural areas.
3 Reigns has. Oh, sorry, he said 3. Well, I know the 97 one. They won one in 2000.
No.
Oh, they went back to back. That's right. Sorry, I apologize.
Yes, it does.
16, 17. So yeah, they have 3. I remember the 97 one was there for that one. And I was there for the other one. For one of the 2 they won in Orlando. So yeah, I misspoke. It's 3. Mandarin has 1. What's that? No. Mandarin had that one title a few years ago as well. So yeah, those are the only 2 from Duval. Meanwhile, speaking of Sandalwood, what's up with them? They are struggling. I mean, they were winless last year. They've been blown out the first 2 weeks this year. It's really weird.
They've been they've been goose egg the first 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's really weird to see Sandalwood struggle this much.
And guess who they got this week? Mandarin.
Man, yeah, that's not going to go well. And even with Tramel Jones out,
and they have a new head coach. He's trying to correct the things. He's trying to correct the ship there. I mean, it's called changing of the guard, and that happens in a lot of areas. And then that certainly has happened here in Duval County with that one, that one in particular. So, but I want to bring something up since we're still sitting here. Obviously, I don't think we're going to get Andre on. I've tried reaching out to him, but I don't know what's going on. But again, we improvise. We try to work on this. We go through it here, but our friends over at the Florida High School 7v7 Association, their member teams at 64 wins last week in week 2, 79% winning percentage in week 2. And I will tell you that right now with the Florida High School 7v7 Association, a lot of teams across the state participate in this during the offseason to help grow and get better. And honestly, not a bad week for teams and then that are members of the FH7v7, and that goes obviously across the entire state. And they have grown over the last few years, and this past year was like 10 years for them. So
yeah,
but
okay, congratulations there.
Oh, we got the Freeport Touchdown Club who has chimed in. What's your take on Walton County teams? Well, I mean, that's a good question.
John Boy Walton, Grandpa Walton, South Walton.
I mean,
Walton.
Except Freeport, they don't have Walton in their name.
Freeport, yeah, right.
I mean, honestly, right now, I mean, South Walton, they've taken a step back. Freeport looking like I think want to see 1-1 right now in the season. None of the Walton. The only thing is that I don't believe any of the Walton County teams have got all those results from last week here, sitting here from the thing, and I don't believe because Freeport and I think South Walton are 2A, and neither one of them are receiving votes. And Walton, I believe, is 3A, and they were not. They were receiving votes at the start of the season, but not receiving votes. So I mean, it's interesting, considering that, looking at this, it's, at one point, we got to think about this, Marty. At one point, Walton County, it was Walton, largest school in the county. Then there was Freeport, obviously the smallest, and then there was South Walton there, kind of midway in between both teams there. And now, is it all 2A reclass? Okay, it is all 2A reclass. You're right. Appreciate that. I appreciate that one. Yes, it all is 2A reclass. I couldn't remember because sometimes it's been a thing, but no, correct. With everybody there, it's 2A reclass, but South Walton is growing, and the Santa Rosa Beach area is growing. And honestly, I mean, and then Freeport is also growing. So there's kind of been a little bit of a change there. I think it's kind of figure out how these teams are working, drawing boundaries and redrawing the district zones. I mean, I know that's that probably has had to happen there, but honestly, right now, I mean, my honest take right now is we're 2 weeks in. I mean, honestly, anything, I think if we're looking at it right now, I think South Walton's kind of regressed backwards, but Freeport is trying to come upwards, and then Walton is like, they've had a good success here in the last couple of years, but I'm kind of interested to see if that success is going to continue to translate here in 2024. And we're only 2 weeks into this. Where I say we'll really, really start to know where things are laying out for these teams, and when we start getting playoff rankings, and that's another couple weeks away.
Yeah, it's only about 3 weeks away. So you're right. We'll know very soon where that is. So thanks for the Freeport Touchdown Club, though, for the question. Thanks for watching. And it looks like we will have to have Andre on another week at this point as we approach 9 o'clock here.
Something could have happened, family emergency or something. We never know.
We still have a lot to talk about, though. We'll still have some fan question of the week to get to. Pick 6. We got a lot to talk about there. Results from last week and our picks for week 3. But first, it's time for water break number 2, a 2-minute warning here. Marty Pallman, Joshua Wilson, you're watching North Florida Blitz. All right, welcome back. You're watching us tonight on Facebook, also on Twitter, X, Instagram, and YouTube.
Yes, indeed. And hit that subscribe button on YouTube and hit that notification bell. That's at Florida HS Football. And of course, that
the camera's now gone out.
no, it's there.
Okay, sorry, it went blank on my screen. My apologies. So, well, at this point, again, we'll have a guest tonight. Andre Ellis is we haven't been able to find him, so we'll try another week with that. But still a lot to talk about as we cover North Florida all the way from Pensacola to Jacksonville down to Gainesville.
And I don't see any more questions right this second, so we're going to kind of skip the fan question of the week because we've been answering questions here all night, which is great.
And Purdy also did send another message. He was talking about Reigns, and they beat Coco back-to-back.
Yes, they did.
So that's about the only.
That was in the stretch of the last days of John Wilkinson at Coco.
Yeah, and that's about the only team that's ever beaten Coco, really. The state championship. Reigns beat him 2 years in a row, but.
Wait a second. Hold on. Someone popped in a question. We're just going to pop that up real quick.
No, Mosley has played inferior opponents in the first 2 games of the season, which I believe they're giving much of a choice when it comes to scheduling Bay, Rutherford, and Arnold. But they could have a really good season. Very interested in Thursday night against Rickards. So get a Scambia and Niceville at home. And Coach Whidden beat his alma mater, Niceville, last year. That's true. They had a big win over Niceville last year.
Yes, which won them the district title and then sent them on the road to the first.
Buteholz. Yeah, it didn't go so well there, but yeah, that's true.
Yes, it did. It did not go so well. But hey, it's 2024, new year, new season.
New year, yeah. And as you said, though, yeah, they have to play Bay and Rutherford and Arnold, those teams. So, hey, well, there's the music. And so we will go ahead with our pick six. We'll spend some more time on this. We have about a little more than 10 minutes to go in the show. First of all, this is the opposite from South Florida. I'm 4-2. I was 2-4 there. And hey, thanks, Josh. North Florida, Josh. Rough week for Josh, 2-4. Still a long way to go in this season. Long way to go. And we're tied now. Josh had a 2-game lead. Now we're 11-7. Not bad. Not bad to start.
Well, here we are.
Not bad to start. So we're back to 0 here with the two of us. So, all right, we will start with our first game of the week.
Yes, indeed.
And it is, here we go. Good one to start. Bowls and St. Augustine.
St. Augustine. What? Wait.
St. Augustine.
St. Augustine, yes.
The Yellow Jackets. And, Bowls, and we talked about them. Lost week 1 to Reigns, won at Trinity week 2. St. Augustine has rolled the first 2 weeks against Palaca and Menendez. So Bowls has had tougher competition, you could say, to this point. But to me, the St. Augustine team may be the best in this area. And outside of maybe Mandarin, they're pretty close. Bowls is pretty good, but that's gonna be a tough game on the road for them. I'll take the Yellow Jackets to win at home.
Well, I'm gonna roll here on this one. I'm gonna roll St. Augustine as well at the Foots Brumley.
Foots Brumley.
HL Foots Brumley Stadium, I believe that's the name.
I know.
That's what everybody calls it. Foots Brumley.
Hello, Foots Brumley. Yeah, I know.
So we're going St. Augustine this week.
Yep. Well, the Yellow Jackets.
We'll see. We'll see if all the Bulls people come out tomorrow or that next week and come after us if we lose that one.
Yeah, that's true. Well, they're listening, but yes. Anyway, big game in the Panhandle.
Crestview at Choctaw, 2-0.
Crestview, yeah, this is a big one. And Frank Beasley's team in Choctaw at home. It's tough to pick this. Yeah, well, you put my pick up there. I am going with Choctaw. They're basically a home team, and they're playing really good football right now.
And I'm going Choctaw too, by the way. At home, I mean, honestly, the Indians, they're really rolling well. And, if anybody else over there in Okaloosa County knows, Choctaw, hey, it's really, honestly, it's Niceville. It's Niceville and Choctaw show. And again, this is a county rivalry here. So, but Crestview up there, the north part of Okaloosa County. But, honestly, as we know, it's the show's ran in Fort Walton, over there in the Fort Walton Beach area between Niceville and Choctaw right now. So.
Right. Pretty much. So, all right, we both have the home team there as well. Choctaw is how we move along.
And this game's been moved to Thursday night, by the way.
Okay. Bartram Trail, who lost last week to Ponte Vedra. We said that earlier. They won week 1 against Sumner. They're going to head into Georgia, Waycross, play Ware County, who's 2-1. And I tell you, anytime the Florida teams go into Georgia, you don't know.
By the way, where's Corey Davis at? Because this is his team in Georgia.
Waycross, yeah, that's right. That's
Ware County,
a lot
Georgia.
of family from there. And
Ware County Gators.
Right, Ware County Gators. But I'm going to take Ware County at home to win this game. I think it's just tough to go up to Georgia and win. South Georgia, I'm sure the crowd will be ready to go. Rare game for Bartram Trail to go up there and play.
And I'm going Ware County too, Marty.
Wow, okay. So we're 3 for 3 again.
We
so
are
far.
3 for 3 here so far tonight.
Yep.
But I just Bartram Trail did struggle a little bit against Ponte Vedra, but Ware County is Ware County, and going up into Georgia, it's a whole different environment up there.
Yeah, it is.
In the swamp tube.
In the what?
In the swamp.
Oh, okay.
It's swampy up there.
It is swampy, no doubt.
All right, hey, Philip Crutchfield, you might like this one, but I think a lot of people out in the Panhandle will like this. A little small school action between Maclay at Mariana, 2-0.
Yeah, both 2-0. Maclay, of course,
they won that game over in Ireland, by the way.
In Ireland, and they start 2-0. Edgewater, by the way, lost their first game after going over to England and winning, but I honestly don't remember who I picked for this game. I think it was Maclay.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, I went with Maclay
because I am going to go opposite of you.
Okay, there you go.
Mariana. I'm taking the Mariana Bulldogs here on
Okay.
this one. And,
this one felt like a real toss-up, so I think I went with Maclay just based on
sometimes we have to throw toss-up games into these picks.
right, exactly. So
right. Good little nice Panhandle matchup here for this week.
Yep, that's right. So
and this one's I like this one. Here you go, a battle of the old guard. Hillsborough, Columbia, 2 of the original FHA member pro schools.
Are they? Wow. Okay.
1920.
Well, yeah, I guess Columbia, I would figure that's true. Hillsborough, I didn't realize that about them, but they're the oldest school in that area in Hillsborough County. So, interesting matchup.
By the way, I got a little tidbit here. So, their football field at Hillsborough used to be named after Vivian Gaither. It changed after Gaither High School opened.
Okay.
So, that little tidbit right there.
That makes sense, I guess.
But yes. But for Columbia here we go. I don't know the exact history. I should have really gotten a hold of Hunter Williams and had to pull up the record book on this because
he would probably be the Columbia historian.
Yeah, to really kind of give me some information, more insight, because this has been I cannot recall in the 15 years I've been doing this before HSFootball.com, Hillsborough and Columbia actually playing each other. So it's been a hot minute since these two teams have actually faced each other on the gridiron.
Whenever it was back in the days when Pat Summerall was playing at Columbia.
Oh,
that would have been
you just
what happened?
Congratulations, Marty. You brought up a name that
he was playing in like the 40s, I believe.
Oh, me, come on.
Columbia program's been around. It's fun.
But Pat Summerall, yeah.
Pat Summerall, yeah, legend from Lake City. They're at Columbia High School, but okay, so I guess we have to pick this game still.
We do.
All right, Columbia loses or wins week 1 against Suwannee. Close game. Last week they go to Georgia, lost to Coffee County. We kind of thought that was going to happen.
Former Madison County head coach Mike Coe there at Coffee.
Yeah, they beat it pretty soundly, but
they were close for a while.
It was close, yeah. Columbia's better than they were, I think, last year. But in this game at home, I'll take Columbia to win this game against Hillsborough.
And I'm going to go the same way. I'm taking Columbia at home here, but you got to think about it. Earl Garcia, he's been at Hillsborough for going since, this is like he's in the midst of like a 4th decade there.
Wow.
So,
yeah.
One of the longtime coaches there, and Earl Garcia there, and but this will be a battle between the Terriers and the Tigers, and
Terriers and the Tigers.
But 2 vicious animals, dogs with Terriers, Tigers on the. But I'm going Tigers.
Tigers would probably eat Terriers.
That's true.
In real life,
that is true.
But yes, you're right. Terriers are a fierce dog. All right, finally, this is the game we were talking about earlier. Another game we were talking about.
Rickards at Mosley. And this will be a Thursday night game
as well. That's in Panama City
at Tommy Oliver Stadium.
Tommy Oliver Stadium in Mosley 2-0. Rickards 2-0. Good start for both teams. Again, I think I took Rickards to win this game. Again, I'm trying to. You're gonna have to put the pick up because I honestly forgot who I picked. I was doing this in a hurry, but I took Mosley. Sorry, my bad. And
I'm going with you. I'm with Mosley on this
one. The Dolphins. Too. I took the Dolphins. My apologies. I thought I might have going with the Ricketts Raiders. But yes, Mosley. This was a toss up again too. So
yeah, another toss up game here. But I think Mosley is prepared. They got a really good quarterback. So I mean, honestly, I think the Dolphins will be prepared. Tommy Jordan wouldn't. He'll have his team ready.
Yeah. So we'll go take Mosley. Yeah, only one difference. It was Mariana and McClay. So that's a little surprising and to me. But yeah, we heard from the Mosley fans too, and some of them were detractors and some that were I think were high on Mosley. Go ahead.
But yeah, I also Phil Cuttrell agrees with the Bulldogs pick for
I'm
Mariana.
sure he does.
But he by the way he was telling me he grew up in Grand Ridge, which is Grand Ridge, and but he graduated high school from Crestview.
He went to Crestview, yeah. I was going to say that earlier when they're playing Choctaw, but right, that's right. But yeah, he grew up in Grand Ridge, so knows that area pretty well. And as you said, big games for Marianna and Crestview this week, both big ball games. So, well, unfortunately, unable to get Andre on tonight, but we will try to get next week. Oh, we do have a question here.
We do have a question. It's not but for this particular region of show, but we'll go ahead and pop it up. What do you think of Mount Dora? Well, they look really good. But Mount Dora, Mount Dora, Central Florida, our Central Florida show. Let's kind of give people a little reminder of our shows here and everything. But here we go. So on Monday nights, we have the Central Florida Blitz 7:30 to 8:15, and then we have the Gulf Coast Blitz from 8:30 to 9:15, and then of course tonight on Tuesday nights we have the South Florida Blitz 7:30 to 8:15, and then, of course this show that you're watching right now, the North Florida Blitz 8:30 to 9:15. And
there you go.
And Mark Cannon, I actually, you know what? I will have to send a text message to Frank Beasley and see if we can get him on.
I think we can get that taken care of.
I think we can work on that one.
Yeah, he did great job at the FHSA. Yeah, that's how we really got to know him well, and he did a really good job there. I agree. And of course, he coached at Denellen. He
had a year at Trinity Catholic.
He coached up at did he coach at Columbia?
Yes, he was the head coach at Columbia for a couple of years.
Yeah, he's been at a few different schools in this area, and then he was in the Panhandle before. But Choctaw was his alma mater.
Yes, it is.
He went back there 4 years ago, and he's done a really good job back in coaching football. But he did a lot of work with football in Florida, the state of Florida, for FHSA. So, yeah, I agree. Indeed. I think he did a lot of good there as well, and he's going back there as the coach. He's got Choctaw back to really one of the better programs in the state of Florida. So, well, that will, in fact, do it. We are out of here, and we appreciate you watching here tonight on this Tuesday night. As Josh just mentioned, every Tuesday, 8:30 to 9:15, the North Florida Blitz. And everybody have a great week. I'm Marty Pallman. He's Joshua Wilson, and say good night, Josh.
Good night,
Josh.
Good night, Marty.
Good night.